Hey, Chandler Bolt here, CEO and founder of Self Publishing School, and I want to say congratulations on taking the Author DNA quiz. If you're seeing this video right now, it's probably because you took the quiz and your result was the speaker, and your author twin is Gary Vaynerchuk. So I'm here with SPS alumni Scott Groves, author of the book Lead Generate, and he's also the speaker. So I thought it'd be fun to kind of ask him a couple questions and hear about how he used his author DNA to get his book done. So as someone who kind of speaks better than you write, and that's like the channel that you would prefer, how did you actually get this book done? What was your process?
Well, for me, it was really just reeling in all the parts, right? So the way the book originally started 5 years ago was I had 500,000 words of transcribed keynotes and speeches and coaching calls that I had done. And magically, those don't come together as a book. So it was really a matter of getting your program, going through the material I had, organizing it in a coherent fashion, and then turning it into like a quality 35,000 page or 35,000 word book. And you know, from the very first call with your staff all the way till the end product, it was okay, how do you find your focus? How do you get all of that material in the spoken word into like some coherent book material?
So what did you do there? I mean, you had 500,000 words. Did you scrap that and replan and then start from scratch? Did you piece that together? Like, what did you do from that?
So I basically scrapped everything. I did do kind of one cursory review to find the overarching theme, because you know, you can imagine in that 500,000 words, I had building a team and some personal development stuff and some sales skills. And the whole goal was to pare it down to what's the key tactic that salespeople need. And what ended up coming of it was lead generation, right? Because like if you don't lead generate, it doesn't matter what product you're selling or how great your system is. With no leads, you got no biz. So that's really what we narrowed it down to by going through SPS.
And so what would be your advice? Because I'm sure there's a lot of folks who are also the speakers who it's like, hey, I've got this big overarching principle. How would you recommend that they dive down, and how did you dive down into, okay, lead generation, that's the thing. And then what if they're like, hey, I got this big picture, how do I actually get down into what's specific that I'm gonna write the book about?
Well, I think step number one is obviously going through your course, every single step, watch every single video, go through every checklist, because that pretty much makes it dummy proof. Like if I can write a book, trust me, anybody can write a book. And then I think for those of us that are more, you know, gregarious, more outgoing, maybe we have shiny object syndrome, we like to be social and talk in a room. What I did is I legitimately locked myself in the Paseo Hotel in Huntington Beach for 3 days, and I just knocked out the book. So once I followed your whole step on the outline, and then the book kind of presented itself, it was, okay, well now I've got to write. I know I've got shiny object syndrome. I know I like to talk instead of write. So 3 days away from business, away from my phone, away from family, and I just wrote the book in 3 days.
Got it. And what was the hardest part kind of the writing process for you?
You know, for me, the hardest part is keeping that focus. So having a nice kind of daily checklist to go back to, because the outline was the key. And the way that you, no pun intended, the way that you outline how to create the outline, that created the book. And then filling in the words was just, you know, standing up, walking around my hotel room, looking at the outline, speaking to myself about how I would talk through this chapter, and then putting that down on page. So really it worked really well.
That's awesome. Well, hey, now that you've gotten the book finished, let's talk about, and I think this will be inspiring for other people who are speakers, is you probably want to get this book done so that you can speak, right? And so that you can do more speaking. So let's talk about that kind of, now that the book's published, what are some of the results that you've had, and also kind of some of the speaking specific results?
Yeah, so as we record this at the beginning of 2019, the book has been launched for about 3 months, and I currently have a speaking gig in Orlando, a huge speaking gig in Vegas in front of a trade conference of about 10,000 people, and then a speaking gig in Arizona, again to a trade conference. So, you know, things where I kind of knew the people in the industry, in my specific industry, but didn't really have the takeaway material or the collateral to say, hey, put me on stage, I've got something to talk about. You know, everybody's got something to talk about. But when you have the book, you have a physical piece of collateral that they can either, as the event organizers, buy to give away, or they can point to as, hey, this guy's not just another person in our industry, he's kind of a subject matter expert. So if you're a great speaker, if you know you could get up on stage and kill it, have the book, because that's going to be the facilitator of getting you up on stage.
100%. Well, hey, thank you so much, Scott. Thanks for coming in. And hopefully you guys found this inspiring. If you are a speaker, follow in Scott's footsteps. Obviously, he gave some really great tips here. Make sure that you do the outline up front. You know, you might hear this and say, hey, he had 500,000 words. That's an unfair advantage. I don't have 500,000 words. But then you heard him say, I scrapped all of that and started from scratch. So you're exactly right now probably where he was when he started over, and that's totally okay. But make sure that you spend the time on the outline. So I hope that you found this inspiring, and I would love to help you with your book. So if you haven't already, click the link along with this video, book a call, chat with us. We'd love to chat one-on-one with you and say, hey, how can you use these strengths and weaknesses as a speaker to get your book done? So thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll talk to you soon.